Hi, I'm Dave Yavano, CEO at Impact, and welcome to week 2 of the Partnerships Experience 2021. We're thrilled you're here. Last week, we focused on growth, specifically how partnerships can help drive growth more efficiently than through the digital advertising that consumers are becoming increasingly frustrated with. We also discussed how publishers and brands can leverage commerce content or content to build and maintain trust with consumers and audiences while also creating new revenue streams. This week, we're going to take a deeper look at how trust plays a crucial role in partnerships. And before we jump in, just a few reminders to help you make the most of your experience. Be sure to take advantage of the networking capabilities within the platform, including direct messaging with fellow attendees, commenting on the interactive message boards, and more. Additionally, this week, we're going to be sending e-gift cards to the most engaged PX 2021 attendees. So make sure to watch all sessions live or on demand and download our exclusive content available each week to qualify. Thanks for being here with us today and for being part of this growing and evolving partnership economy. Now let's jump right into this week's event.
Trust is about doing what you say you're going to do. It means your word is your bond.
It is the currency by which we exchange our identities, intentions, experiences, and our motives. It also allows us to feel safe in a way that says, I see you, I respect you, and though we may have our differences, I commit to having your back.
Trust is about having the confidence and faith that someone always has your best interests at heart. They act in a transparent manner and seek to do no harm to those around them. In business, actions speak louder than words. Trust is built by being consistent, compassionate, and clear in communication while always doing what you say you're going to do.
Trust means reliability, confidence, faith, security, credibility.
Trust to me is the foundation of a relationship. We treat a client's business as if it's our own money, and the recommendations we make really matter to the bottom line.
Welcome everyone to my session, The Art and Science of the Customer Experience. You can't cobble together a great customer experience, but you can craft one with culture, passion, and obsession for your customers. Learn how to engage the art and the science of the customer experience to create a great brand your consumers will love. Before we dive in, I want to give a quick background on myself to serve as context as why I'm here with you today. My name is Michael Ewing, and I joined HubSpot in 2010. Over 10 years ago. I joined in the customer success department as an inbound marketing consultant. I've held several positions since then in both our headquarters in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and our European headquarters in Dublin, Ireland, all focused on improving our customer success strategy and operations to generate a scaled customer experience that our customers love. I have seen firsthand HubSpot scale from 100 employees to thousands across the world. From having a moonshot dream of reaching 100 million in revenue to one with over a $25 billion market cap. I joined Impact as a board advisor earlier this year with a focus on scaling our customer success and education initiatives. One of the best lessons that I've learned along the way, and one that I'm going to share with you today, is the importance of a customer-obsessed culture. To set the stage, we must recognize that workplace culture and employee experience will have a large influence on the experience your customers will have with your product and service. The employee who loves what they do at work, who they do it with, and the impact that they're having on the company and in their professional lives will 100% of the time outperform the employee who is simply showing up for the paycheck. It is important to focus on your workplace culture and employee experience to get your customer experience right. Culture matters. Although HubSpot has a great culture and customer-obsessed brand today, this was not always the case. The workplace culture, especially before 2014, was very much a move fast and do whatever it takes to hit your metrics sort of vibe. The phrase work hard, party hard definitely applied. The output was a lot of product bugs, customer complaints, and growing pockets of overworked and unmotivated employees. This resulted in all-time low customer satisfaction scores, burnt out support and success departments, and a real fear that we might not be able to accelerate to our next stage of growth. We've come a long way since then, and now are one of the gold standards in company cultures and customer experience. We had to make a lot of smart decisions to get here. One of the best was hiring Katie Burke as our Chief People Officer, a C-suite fully dedicated to our people and culture with VPs, directors, managers, and individual contributors responsible for crafting a diverse and inclusive culture that obsesses over our customer success. Our heavy investment and emphasis on growing our culture to be employee and customer focused has been an essential pillar for years now. The latest investment being in the amazing hire of our first Chief Customer Officer, Yamini Rangan, in January of 2020. Beyond hiring some amazing leaders, how did HubSpot transform to a customer-obsessed culture, and why is it important to ensure your business has one today? That's the purpose of the talk today. Let's start with why. The world changed in 2020. In fact, the world changed pretty dramatically. The events of the past year have transformed entire industries, upended the way we work, and reshaped human behavior en masse. Companies across multiple industries had to pivot to meet their customer needs in entirely different ways. If companies started the year thinking they needed to be digital ready, they ended the year pivoting to be digital first and digital only. This is a profound transformation in a matter of months. We have witnessed more change in the past year than the last few years. Digital transformation did not just accelerate, but it took a giant leap forward in 2020, and there is no going back. Customer experience is at the heart of this transformation, as companies are realizing that to be successful, you must be customer first. We have seen this trend grow right before our very eyes. From the age of manufacturing with Ford and the Model T, the age of distribution focused on getting products into consumers' hands around the world, the age of information focused on digital transformation with the likes of Microsoft and Google, to today being the age of the customer. Customers have a lot of power today, more so than ever. The amount of tools available to make an informed purchasing decision vastly outweigh what was previously available. Google alone greatly transferred power from the seller to the buyer. But layer on top of this browser extensions, trust rating websites, instant social media feedback, and online forums, customers have the power. With this power, expectations have changed. Consumers demand a seamless experience that caters to their desires, not the desires of the company. Customers expect companies they purchase from to be easy to research, easy to buy from, easy to engage with, and easy to get service. Customer experience has become an obvious differentiator in 2020 through the pandemic. But the early adopters who focused on customer experience as their primary differentiator by making it easy to research, easy to buy from, easy to engage with, and easy to get services, well, they are winning. These companies understand that customer experience is the totality of all interactions with your company. Every interaction with your company matters, not just the interactions with your products, sales team, or support team. Every interaction must be consistent, easy, and up to the customer's high levels of individual service demands. A company may have a super product and a slick website, but a poor customer experience with the billing department, or a salesperson trying to sell a product without communicating with the services rep who just spoke to the customer about their complaints. And well, customer perception turns quickly. Customers are more independent, more impatient, and less trusting of businesses. They share their dissatisfaction widely and loudly, and they can easily choose from one of your many competitors. But they're also your greatest source of growth. And yet many businesses, while they say they are customer first, are actually customer eventually. So how does a company gain a reputation and brand of superior customer experience by being customer first? How do you get your teams, your people, your product to consistently meet the high standards of your customers that earns the gold star customer experience brand? There is an art and a science to it. A mixture of culture to instill customer-centric values with a discipline of customer-centric alignment. Let's start with culture. Your people are your company. Creating an environment where people feel comfortable being their authentic best selves at work can unlock so much synergy when centered on solving for customer solutions, and be a massive blocker to innovation and growth when people feel like they can't be. Your company values are the primary colors that form your workplace culture. Intentionally create your values to allow employees to be their authentic best selves. Solve for the customer and ensure that they are all part of your company's DNA. Trust your team to solve for your customers. Don't micromanage them. They were hired at your company for a reason. Give them the respect they deserve and the space they need to be remarkable. Solving for the customer has been a mantra at HubSpot ever since our CEO sent a company-wide memo which included the hashtag SFTC. This phrase can have a different meaning depending on one's interpretation of it, so let's be clear here. Solving for the customer does not mean discounting your product because a customer asked to pay less. Bankrupt companies can't solve for their customers. Solve for the customer means that you solve for their success. Understand why they asked to pay less. What are they dissatisfied with? How can you improve your product or service? Can you gain this information before their renewal or next purchase? Every department, every team will have different ways that they can solve for the customer. Ensure they are all empowered to do so. Solving for the customer has to be part of your DNA. Power is now gained by sharing knowledge, not hoarding it. Encourage a culture that collaborates, communicates, and innovates to solve for the customer. Let's turn to practices you can develop to instill these values. A powerful practice you can do as the CEO of the company, a leader within a department, or an individual contributor on a team is a series of deep listening posts. Gather data from your customers, quantitative like product usage or search trends, and qualitative through regular Net Promoter Score surveys, customer interviews, and here's one people often miss, interviews with customer-facing team members. Listen to the customer. Be thoughtful about your research and diligent in documenting and sharing your insights. For your next company meeting, invite a customer. Have them speak openly and candidly about their experience with an open forum to express anything they wish your company could do. Have your company meeting be a customer-first meeting. If you don't already have one, your company should consider forming a Voice of the Customer program or department. I'm going to go into more detail on how to create this later, but want to call it out as an important practice that can accelerate your customer experience. Now that we've taken a look at culture, let's transition to look at discipline with alignment. Using the art of your culture, transform your customer experience with a discipline of strategic alignment. One of the most impactful quotes Yamini, HubSpot's Chief Customer Officer I mentioned earlier, said upon joining HubSpot was this: if culture eats strategy for breakfast, alignment eats strategy for lunch. The best business strategy in the world will not work unless you have strategic alignment for excellent execution for that strategy. To accomplish this discipline of alignment, you will need aligned teams, aligned strategy, aligned systems, and aligned incentives. To set the context for how to transform customer experience with alignment, I want to share a quick story of when HubSpot co-founder Dharmesh Shah asked Elon Musk a question. What is your advice on growing and scaling a business? Here was Elon's answer. Every person in your company is a vector. Your progress is determined by the sum of all vectors. If you have perfectly amazing people and they're all perfectly misaligned, the result is zero progress. What's more common is that most people are pulling in the correctest direction, as we see illustrated in the suboptimal impact team. For your people to have maximum impact, your teams need to be aligned and unified in achieving the same goal. Vectors align equals maximum impact. What often happens in companies is that teams act in silos, each doing their best to solve for their own departments. The VP of marketing sets their goals and playbooks while using their own specialized systems and customer interactions to meet their objectives. The VP of sales sets their goals and playbooks while using their own specialized systems and customer interactions to meet their objectives. And the VP of service you guessed it, sets their goals and playbooks while using their own specialized systems and customer interactions to meet their objective. All of these goals and objectives are probably good, maybe even great, but when not coordinated towards a unified goal, they achieve suboptimal impact. And they each create a different customer experience depending on which department the customer is interacting with. A way to fix this is to have a chief customer officer that all front office teams report into. The CCO has the customer experience as their top priority. Marketing, sales, and service all roll up to the customer officer, who is responsible for ensuring that all teams have aligned goals and objectives that achieve a singular customer experience, not a variety of them. Unaligned teams leads to unaligned strategy with a focus on function execution. Alignment is about excellent execution of your strategy. Aligned teams unlocks aligned strategy. Unified strategy puts the customer first and ensures your customer experience is crafted to meet your customers' high expectations. But even the best aligned teams with the best aligned strategy will be hindered without aligned systems. Take an inventory of your systems now. How easy is it for your marketing department to see the last interaction with a customer to make an informed decision of when and what to message them? How easy is it for your sales team to leave notes on their prospect and customer interactions that can be consumed by your services team to use in their next account review? If your teams are working from separate systems, my guess is that the answers to those questions aren't great. Your systems must be easy to align, easy to adopt, and easy to adapt for your teams to have optimal impact. Lastly, but almost most importantly, are aligned incentives. Incentives drive motive and behavior. Whatever target you put in front of a person will drive their goals and objectives. Ultimately, your product or service should result in your customer gaining greater value. In the software as a service world, this can be measured by the revenue generated over a customer's lifetime. The greater the success the customer has with your product or service, the greater their revenue growth. Incentivizing around revenue growth, which is customer success, then equates to your company's success, which then outputs functional success of front-end departments. So instead of having your marketing team only measured on the number of leads they generated, and the sales team measured only on new business acquisition, and the services team measured by customer retention, go back to what matters most for your customers and company success, and have this be a unifying metric. You have a choice. You can let your company exist in silos with a cobbled together customer experience, or you can craft your customer experience with aligned teams, aligned strategy, aligned systems, and aligned incentives. Choosing to craft your brand will enable you to have a customer-obsessed culture. For a customer-obsessed brand that solves for the customer. You may be asking yourself, this sounds all well and good, but how do I actually create this change? What are some things I can implement at my company now to make change? Let's transition to look at a few pieces of advice that I've seen work well at HubSpot, which can work for your business too. Step one, love yourself. Like RuPaul says, if you can't love yourself, how the heck are you going to love somebody else? There's a lot of wisdom in this quote. Focus on workplace culture and loving yourself, your team, and what the impact is you're having on the world. Step two, if your company doesn't already have one, create a customer code and hold yourself accountable with a report card on your progress. You can read HubSpot's codes on the screen. All are important and are aspirational goals for our business to achieve. One that resonates the most to me, and one that strategic alignment best helps to solve, is solve for my success, not your systems. Don't make your process your customer's problem. They care more about their own problems than your department's. Our customer code creates a culture of putting customers first, focusing on long-term customer relationships for retention and doing the right thing. You should come up with your own set of customer codes or steal some of HubSpot's and do the same. Form a voice of the customer department that has a mission for making happier customers and reducing friction in your go-to-market teams. The voice of the customer team is responsible for collecting and analyzing feedback across the customer experience, holding the company accountable for taking action on that feedback, and evangelizing for the customer throughout the company. Your voice of the customer department can start as small as one person and grow to have many more people, including VPs, directors, managers, and individual contributors. Start small and grow your team in the way that best fits with your business. Let's go a step further from what the department should be responsible for to some ideas that you can implement in your company straight away. The first is customer first staff meetings. These are regular meetings with your company executives and department heads that focus on customer first topics. Each meeting features a customer interview facilitated by the voice of the customer team, where we get to hear firsthand from the customers and their pain points. These are exceptional for creating customer first focus. A second idea is customer town halls. Town halls are gatherings of groups of customers, typically 8 to 14, where they share candid feedback about your company, what they like and don't like. They're encouraged to identify areas of improvement and then collectively vote on the most crucial areas for attention, which they then dig into further. A third area is customer roadblocks, data collection and improvement oversight. Your customers give you lots of feedback, whether through those Net Promoter Score surveys, support chats, idea boards, or over the phone with sales or success teams. It's a lot of really important data that unfortunately struggles to get into the hands of the right individuals to take action. This is where the Customer Roadblocks program comes in to offer a scalable solution of centralizing and collecting that feedback while ensuring it gets prioritized by the right teams internally. A final idea is forming a customer experience strategy team. The goal of this team is to take a holistic approach to the customer's experience and treat business process or people-driven feedback equal to product feedback in order to help make the endless amount of customer feedback more digestible and actionable for the company. The voice of the customer program or department is one of the most important investments you can make to ensure your company has a customer-obsessed culture. I hope you can implement some of these ideas. A third piece of advice for a customer-obsessed brand is to focus on one team resources. Your sales reps and customer success reps should be playing from the same playbook when either selling, consulting, troubleshooting, or servicing your customers and prospects. Align your resources together into one space. Your how to sell, how to service, how to troubleshoot, and how to consult playbooks should be built with each respective department and all accessible from the same place. Do an audit of your resources today. Do you have playbooks for one team or several teams? Notice how a HubSpot strategy is not to become the #1 CRM platform. It's become the #1 CRM platform for scaling companies. And our strategy is for our customers, not ourselves. When your strategy is customer experience, your brand becomes customer experience. Finally, use the power of art and science storytelling sourced from your customers and employees across the organization and become a content partner for the media by identifying opportunities for news stories and visual assets. Use this content to create campaigns that are focused on what your consumers care about, influencers care about, and what your company cares about. What topics, trends, or news are people talking about right now? What do human beings care about? What are your top tier outlets writing about? What are influencers tweeting about? What are their personal interests? How can you fit your company's message into the larger story? Can you contribute to the conversation in a meaningful way? Do this and you will create a remarkable customer-first brand, one that is authentically crafted, not cobbled together. I want to conclude with a quote that combines art and science while providing a good bit of inspiration. Logic will take you from A to B. Imagination will take you everywhere. So go on, craft a customer experience that reflects your gold star customer-first brand. I want to thank you all for taking the time to listen to my presentation today. I hope that you've gotten some good inspiration and tips and advice to truly make your brand customer first and remarkable. Enjoy the rest of the spectacular content in this jam-packed event with amazing speakers. I'm fired up for the Partnerships Experience 2021, and I hope you are too. Thank you again, and enjoy the rest of the experience.
Thank you.